There we go. That was from our partner, Foto Wings. So Nada, thank you so much for joining in this conversation. It's really good to see you. I was saying it while people were coming into the call, is that Nada and I met in real life for the first time yesterday. So Nada is a mentee within the VII ecosystem. So she's a VII mentee and currently studying at ICP in New York. And I, by total coincidence, am also in New York for a week. So we met yesterday and it was fabulous. And she's now, or we are now like one block apart. And we didn't want to be in the same room because of echo and so on, but we are very close to each other. And I will see you in real life after the call. And I'm very happy that you want to be in this conversation, because the story that you have been working on for a long time is, yeah, you will all see. She's going to show today, but it's amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ilvy. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy that you're here. Let me present myself first. My name is Nada Harib, and I'm a photojournalist based in Tripoli, Libya. Currently, I'm in New York City studying video storytelling and documentary practices at International Center of Photography. Today, I'm gonna share with you my presentation. It's my small portion of my larger ambitious book called Unearth. Unearth is, for me, it's like unearthing my culture, my homeland of Libya, myself as a observer, discovering, knowing Libya, even though I'm Libyan, but during my time, my coverage, I've been learning so much things about Libya and about even history of Libya, and also till now the current state of what we have gone through. But let me first, before I present and I share with you my presentation, because I'm sure some of you don't know the history of Libya, or not aware enough of the history line of you know, as Libyan and what we have been through. Starting from in 1969, it was a curse, let's say, I can describe it as a curse. It was the rise of dictatorship, a rise of Muammar Gaddafi from 1969 till 2011. There was a historical revolution that destroyed and ended the dictatorship of 42 long years of dictatorship.
How many years, Nada?
42.
Wow.
It's so long. And then after that, the best years we have tasted like revolution and freedom was after 2011, from revolution till 2014, where the civil war has started. Many rulers tried to power and to gain Tripoli and western part of Libya. And then, unfortunately, another new return of dictatorship. If you might know, you heard about his name, called Khalifa Haftar, who's based in the eastern part of Libya. He started war on Tripoli exactly on the 4th of April in 2019 till and ended, and he failed to seize it, and ended up till 2020 on 5th of June. So this is just a brief of history, and so people will get, you know.
So Nada, before we start your presentation, I would really like to know a bit of background about how you started photography.
Yeah.
So like when and how, and did you go to school for photography before going to ICP now, or?
Yeah, the funny part, I didn't plan to be a photojournalist. I was at the beginning of my life, I was like, you know, finishing my high school, studying languages, and then going to the university studying English literature. And I was so crazy with art, learning every opportunity that available in Libya, from printmaking to drawing, even though I didn't know how to draw, but I was like, I have to learn things about art itself. And then, okay, when I was a kid, I used to play with camera, taking pictures, random pictures and stuff like that. And then after that, like from, you know, I treated camera like, it's like my hobby. It's like something that I play with. And then in 2017, I started doing my master's degree in English literature. At the same time doing some kind of project that make me earn money to travel, like doing food photography and weddings and couple of fun stuff. So yeah, and to be honest, I didn't know about storytelling and about the power of doing storytelling through a camera. And then after that, I traveled to Italy to study 6 months Italian language, as I told you, that I was obsessed with the languages. But at the same time, during that time, I would just go to the library, looking through storytelling books. I was so fascinated how people can tell their stories, even simple stories of backyards, of their mothers, of their family, of their human crisis or whatever, through photography. I was like, oh my God, we have nothing about Libya. Like, you know, it really helped me like to see more about Libya. Like what I'm doing here, why I'm in Italy, why I'm gonna have, you know, scholarship in Italian literature, why I'm learning this stuff, and I have Libya and we have rich culture, stories and everything out there. And so yeah, so I got back. Sorry, it was distraction. People like they were like looking through.
Yeah, there's a big glass. I know the place you're sitting now. It's a big glass window, right?
And I can hear the noise is so distraction. Distracted. Anyway, so yeah, and it's really and something that really made me sad and angry, that whenever someone reached me and asked me, oh, where are you from? I tell them, okay, can you guess? And they mention every country, our neighboring countries, but they never mention Libya. They never. Even one time in France, I remember he was Tunisian, and I told him, can you guess? And he mentioned every country, your neighboring country. He was thinking, Libya, oh my God. He was like shocked. Oh my God, Libya? Yeah. It made me really, really sad how Libya is known only Gaddafi, Libya, Gaddafi. So I go back home. The first thing I did at the end of 2018, the first thing I did is to meet up with my cousin, and I told my cousin that I have to photograph you and with our tradition. And I can share my presentation, telling you, how I became a photojournalist or storyteller. Yeah. Can I share here now?
Yeah, go ahead. There you go.
Oopsie.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry. So this is an Earth, as I told you, an Earth. It tells about our life in Libya and the stages that we have been through, from Gaddafi to the revolution, to the civil war, and then the new tyrant. Yeah, and also it's a story. It's a collection of memories and childhood memories, and flashbacks, things that I have remembered, things that I've compared the life from the past to the present. So before Libya was to me like, before revolution, it was like a flattened life. We know nothing about. For me and many people I know, and many families, they cannot talk about human rights. They couldn't talk about the revolution. They couldn't talk about any change they wanted to do. So it was like lifeless, flattened life. And after the revolution, it was like, I can describe it like a bomb hit the ground and everything came out. Even though there was small version of Gaddafi and evil people, but there was even kind of freedom, some kind of good changes. We became about, we became known and somehow to the world, but not enough. So I started, that's why it really inspired me to start photographing our culture and our tradition. Like here in my hometown in Yifrin, I live in Tripoli, and Yifrin is in the southwest of Libya, and the distance between Tripoli and Yifrin is 130 kilometers away. So it's called Nefusa Mountain. It's a mountainous place. So I asked my cousin to celebrate our tradition and revive our Amazigh roots, our traditions with our tlaba, which tlaba is a woolen garment that woven by our grandmothers and inherited by them. And in each house, they have this kind of beautiful garment. And before revolution, for myself, I might represent many of my generation. We didn't value about our tradition. Gaddafi succeeded to make us not value or not be proud of who we are, of how diversity we have, how colorful life we have, like from Tuareg, Tabu, Amazigh, Arab, all mixed people around. So that's why it really motivated me to do so. So this is my cousin Mira here in Abundant House in Yifrin. And this is a portrait of her, of our silver jewelries, and yeah.
How's this taken? Is this through a mirror? I don't quite.
Yeah, it's a mirror.
Sorry.
I had this idea of because from the like in the past, the elders used to do a tattoo with Amazigh symbols. So I draw on the mirror, and it was like a reflection. And yeah, I took picture with the light on the right.
It's a beautiful picture.
Yeah,
I think many people who know you through this.
From the picture, yeah. And I think once I took this picture, it took me like for 2 months to show the pictures or to the world. I wasn't confident at all.
Wow.
One day I asked an Italian artist to share my photos with him, and he said, Nada, they're amazing. I was like, really? And he encouraged me to apply Vogue Photo.
Vogue Photo.
Yeah, Vogue Photo. There was like a submission you can submit from every Monday or every Wednesday, to share it with the judges, and if your picture is good enough, they will publish it in Vogue Photo, and they will make it as a photo of the day. So once they took this picture, and you don't know how much I got really, really happy. And it was like, Libya was like a bowl, and it was like a leak of light to see Libya through our tradition.
Beautiful.
So,
and it was with this, was it with this image or the previous one?
Yeah, with this image,
Okay.
image. This one that, they took it as a photo of the day.
So just in between, before we continue, if anyone wants to ask a question to Nada, please put your questions in the Q&A box, not in the chat, because we might lose it. It's a bit difficult to keep track of the chat, but please, if you have any questions, put them in the Q&A box. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, this is my homeland, the freedom. And then the next step, I was like, okay, I have to do something. I have to go further. I have to go to see the south. We don't know about Libya, even though among Libyans, they always say, oh, we Libya know each other, but unfortunately we don't know. We don't know the life in the south. We don't know the life of other peoples in different cities. So I took the step. I went to work, women, amazing women, who helped me to go through this amazing land called Ubari. Although that time was so critical, so we went to this place by private petrol plane that was only for those who worked in a petrol and on the south. So it took time to go there, and yeah, it was so difficult. It took me like 2 months to go there. So I stayed for a week, and I had to leave because of the uncertainty and the security there. So yeah, unfortunately I wasn't that confident with my photographs, with my pictures. I took many photos, but because I was amazed how people and how the life was there. And that time I shared even my story, and even my Libyan, like my people, they were like, is this Ubari? Is this Ubari? We didn't know that. We didn't know that they have even different complexion, different color complexion, that we always think that they have only one color, So and also the way they dress up is different from the north. It's so they are so live, so colorful. I mean, costumes, and yeah.
So how were you feeling during this, like taking these pictures? Does it always feel safe enough to photograph the things you want to photograph, or?
No, the thing is, even though they invited me for lunch, for example, in this area, at the same time we had some security guards who were their cousins. Also, we couldn't go further because there were like militias everywhere, from Chad, from Niger, from it was really, really insecure. So yeah, and also I have noticed how life there, and of course, as you know, that the South, unfortunately, even during Gaddafi, it was ignored by the government of the North. During Gaddafi, during now, it's so poor there, no education, even though under their feet the petrol runs under them. But the life, you can see like a petrol station, very rich station, and the other side you can see poor people who are not poor, but they cannot get access, and holding what is it called, petrol, like cans of, not cans, sorry, like a gallon of petrol, to sell them with very expensive costs. And so it made really, really sad how the life was there. Yeah. So these are some of my excerpts of my diary. Whenever I observe something and think about how life has changed in a very short time, things like from before revolution, after revolution, and how, like, for example, I was born in 1986. I remember I asked my mom, passing by our military school, elementary school, asking why our school is named after after women's name called Njiokiktjien. And she said, yeah, she's a woman whose house got bombed by American during the raid back there. And I thought I told my mom, okay, I'm sorry for her, but thanks that things was over. But we didn't know that we already have a problem. We already have a silent war, and after that revolution, and I'm very grateful about revolution, even though what is happening now is sad, but at least about your existence as a Libyan, as as a human being on Earth. And this is a picture of displaced family. She shared with me a picture of her of her and her friends wearing military uniform. We used to have, before revolution, we used to wear this kind of uniform, unfortunately. But in her generation,
school, right? As
a
school uniform.
Yeah, the school uniform. Imagine that, wearing my green
military style
military, yeah. And
that's really unbelievable.
Yeah, and like in their generation, they have been forced to learn how to use the army. That's so crazy. Yeah. We wore military uniforms, and their existence I were students no longer. This is why it made me write this one, because I had assignment with the Washington Post to photograph students during COVID and displacement after the war. And I noticed, oh my God, things have changed. How we used to wear military uniform, and now the uniform is so cute, These kind of things of, am I getting older? And it's just 10 years ago,
Yeah, lots changed in
a
a very short time frame.
Yeah. Yeah. This is, I wrote this during the war from 2019, when Haftar invaded Tripoli, to 2020. And this is the uniform in my high school, and I don't miss it.
So this is your own school, right?
Yeah, it's my high school. I to be honest, I always have nightmare of the school. As I always have this nightmare that I would never graduate. It's so funny and sad. And I learned nothing from our education, unfortunately. This is his aim, Gaddafi's aim, to not learn and be ignorant and not knowing about the revolution and about being a human that has to learn.
So what were they teaching you at that time when you went to school?
Well, like for example, one of them was the Green Book, that with Gaddafi's ideology, and also with other subjects. But the teacher was still like okay. Before my generation, the education was very good. They taught them many educational storytelling history, but unfortunately with us here, they didn't teach us, like for example, the Andalusian time and heroic people who make such civilization. But in Gaddafi, he didn't want us to learn such a thing, or maybe the way they educated us made us not see, I don't know, not learning things. Yeah.
That's extremely sad.
Yeah, and yeah, extremely sad. This is a school. It was in the front line. This reminds me of Gaddafi time, how we were like lined up like a sheep, like knowing nothing about the world. Yeah. this is an unfortunate school. What I was an assignment to take pictures of schools, destroy the distraction, destroyed places. And it shocked me. At the same time, and also it was a makeshift of Haftar's forces, and also Wagner, paramilitary, a Russian paramilitary neo-Nazi group who were occupied here and planted the landmines. This school, and this
Nada,
sorry.
the Dominic in the Q&A is asking if all those quotes that you have written, the beautiful quotes, you mentioned they were from your diary.
Yeah.
Are they also in a book now? Like, do you have a book printed of this work?
No, not yet, but it's in my my diary, my journal. But I'm gonna work on my book now at ICP. We're gonna have a bookmaking workshop, so that's why I'm here. I brought out everything, like my materials, my coverage during the time in Libya. Yeah.
So there will be a book, guys. So keep that in mind. This will be a book one day.
Yeah, I also.
So for everyone who's here now, watch that moment until it comes out, because you know what makes the work so strong for me is that it's part of your own story. You're not just, you're portraying others, and I know some of your other images as well. But
I made this project as a window, or this book as a window for the people to see closely what I'm seeing. As simple as that. No filtration, just I saw this, I want to share it, and I hope people will understand what I've been through, what I've seen, and these experiences reflect also other Libyans or
exactly. It's your story, but with a wider view on the country as well, right?
The country, and also stories of people I met, and yeah.
So Dominic says, thank you, and please send us the details when the book is out.
Yeah,
and good luck.
Yeah, I will.
Sweet.
I feel like when I was in Italy, I saw this you know, when you saw a vision that you really want to make a book and you really want to make it, I have to do it, and it's a must. And I hope I'm gonna share it with Libyans also, and also with the world, to see what is Libya. And Libya, it's not only Gaddafi. Please forget about Gaddafi. Yeah, and this is a gravesite in Tarhuna. Tarhuna, as you might know, during Haftar's invasion on Tripoli, Tarhuna is on the south of Tripoli, in the southwest of Tripoli, of Libya, and it was used as a staging ground for Haftar and his militia, self-styled militias, Al-Kaniyat, who made this city and siege it and close it and make it like how can I describe this? Like, it helped Haftar to invade Tripoli through Tarhuna. And also Al-Kaniyat, who consist of 7 brothers who are from Tarhuna. They closed the city and took advantage of the situation and killed many families there. They committed the worst humanitarian crisis, committed massacres, killing children, men, hundreds of them, including children as young as 3 years old, just to get revenge. Especially in Tarhuna, we have like many famous families who landed who owned these lands or these farms, especially Haruda family and Naaj and so on. During like from 2019 and to 2020, they committed massacres, and even before, but with the Haftar forces, they took advantage of of the war and committed more crimes during that time. And I will tell more about Haftar. And please stop me if you ask me more questions. Yeah, and Tarhuna is just the distance from Tripoli and Tarhuna is just 92. So 92 kilometers away from Tripoli. And once I visited there, and by car it was only 1 hour and a half, and it was very, very close to Tripoli. And this massacre, it was very close, like it's not far away from Tripoli.
Very close, scarily close. Scarily close.
There
are some questions coming in the Q&A. Let me just read one out to you from Vincent. The question is: are there civil tensions between ethnic groups in Libya? Like for example, between Arabic and Tamazight? Is it, how do you pronounce it? Tamazight?
Yeah, Arab and Amazigh. We have Arab, Amazigh, and also Tabu and Tuareg.
So the question is, are there any civil tensions between the ethnic groups only, I would say, or?
Well, sorry, I didn't hear that. Can you say again? Sorry.
There's you can see the questions in the Q&A box as well, but the question is from Vincent, and the question is: are there civil tensions between ethnic groups? Wait, yeah, I'll read it out to you because now you had to stop sharing your screen. Yeah, it's okay. No, just reshare your screen. But did you hear the question?
Are there civil tensions between ethnic groups in Libya? Well, no. Like, for example, during Gaddafi time, we did like as Amazigh, it was forbidden to talk in Amazigh language. And also anything that Gaddafi didn't know about or couldn't learn or has ignorant about other languages because they see us as a spy. But Gaddafi, he hated not only Amazigh but also all Libyans, not only Amazigh, Arab Amazigh, and especially sorry, it's like
it was working correctly.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah. It's not about ethnic groups, and yes, we have civil war in the south between Tuareg and Tabu, but the focus is now like the invasion is only controlling, like Haftar, his ambition is to control Libya, like to commit massacres on anyone who's even Tuareg, Amazigh, anyone who supports revolution, anyone who supports freedom, anyone who's even Arab, even from so it wasn't like tension with one ethnic group. Like, yeah.
And Craig is asking, and I'm also very curious about this. Yeah. Sorry?
Am I answering correctly? Am I answering his question?
Definitely. Yeah. So Craig is Craig's question is: can you describe the response of others when they saw you photographing in these places? And what is it like for you to be in these places with a camera?
In this place, in Tarhuna, for example, when there's massacres? Oh, okay.
Like, how do people respond to you?
Well, because, for example, when I get the access and the principal or the head of the municipality of Tarhuna, he allowed me to photograph. But for example, I struggle the people who are working in what is called, the people who works in the grave, in unearthing graves. I struggled at the beginning to allow me to photograph the places, especially like, for example, once I photographed a funeral, they exhumed the corpses, and I identified them by their belongings, and after that by DNA, and reburied them in Tarhuna. At that time, I witnessed the funeral. To be honest, the people in Tarhuna, they didn't even say, "Oh, why you're here? Why you're photographing here?" Because I felt that moment, the focus wasn't on me. The focus was on burying their loved ones. But I struggled with the members of those who, exhuming. I'm sorry, some words are really difficult to pronounce. I can't remember the name of the organization. So I struggle with them saying, "Oh, you're a woman. You're not allowed to photograph in a funeral, in a cemetery, because they're all men." And like no one stopped me there. Like the only group of people they stopped me. They were like, "Don't photograph. There's so many men here." But I'm not photograph. I know, like I cannot. For example, Libya is kind of conservative country, and we all should accept, respect our culture and I know some specific places I should go, but this is crime. This is history. This is not any other normal funeral. I wouldn't go any just cemetery and photograph the funeral. No, this is us. Could be us.
Exactly.
This is like in Tarhuna. Like if Haftar didn't fail to seize Tripoli, the Al-Qania, the criminals, would enter Tripoli and kill us and make another mass graves in Tripoli. So that time I wasn't focused on them. I was like, okay, whatever. Just photographing what I have to say.
Would you get away with that just by saying, okay, whatever, and you turn around and start shooting?
Yeah, but of course I have to be respectful with the people. Of course, I'm not going to photograph someone like, "Oh, okay, can I photograph? Can I you show them the camera and they know that I'm photographing the history." And to be honest, I feel that time with the people, their reaction was like, "Please photograph us." They need like voices to be elevated, to be heard. And whenever I go there, because I stayed there for many nights with the Haruda family, the sister, I will share the story of them. And whenever I go, whenever I say I'm a photojournalist, I'm making story of what's happening, they come to me and they just want to tell their story, And I'm not saying that I didn't find obstacles. No, there were obstacles. But at the same time, I got help from the forensic member, from the doctor. He understood me, and he was so supportive because he knew the tragic and what we are going through. So he really supported me to get access. Even though that time I didn't have a press card, I didn't have credential papers. But like this doctor, he sent me a policeman, and my mother went with me that day, and she drove me all the way to Tarhuna. And even my mother, she never traveled any other cities except her homeland in Yifrin, which is 2 hours away. So she experienced too.
And the two of you were together only, like just you and your mom?
Yeah. One time, me and my mom, and also the policeman who helped us to secure the road. So yeah, but I have to like take care of like telling the principal of the municipality of the Tarhuna, tell him, okay, I'm coming today, to photograph, and so sorry, you have to stop me because once I tell a story, I cannot stop.
Okay. Well, we have about 10 more minutes to go through your presentation, just to give
Okay.
you an indication. So for the people watching, maybe interesting for some background, usually we select about 16 to 20 pictures.
Yeah,
But Nada had so much, and it was also
even though
touching.
this is a small portion, I really tried.
Exactly. We couldn't do it. We really tried, or she really tried, but we ended up, or she ended up selecting 40. But I also had the feeling, she showed me the presentation yesterday, that we couldn't cut anything. So we're in it to see more. So take your
And
time.
this is during the war from 2019 to 2020, observing the life there, the bombings. Of course, if you know that the bombs were hitting the south of Tripoli and occupied by the militias of Haftar, and also the Russian planting the landmines, the booby traps, and all kind of evil things there. And also the bombs were like hitting everywhere in Tripoli. It's not only I mean, the south of Tripoli. So I started to observe how every time there's war, we have to pack up. We have to get ready what's going to happen. This is the sad story. Like you feel like you're home, but you're not. What we should do if Haftar seized Tripoli, it's going to be worse. Even now we have corruption, but we don't have other chances. Like, let's get rid of Haftar and dictatorship. Then we can do election and choose the right person. So yeah. And this is what after the war ended on the 5th of June, I ventured out to see the houses there, and we were very careful with the road, especially that time was very fresh. And whatever there was Russian, that means the landmines planted everywhere. And unfortunately, when you see a house like this, that means you have to know that Libyans, they paid their soul and everything to build a house. And it's funny, whenever I travel to Africa, like to see like for example, when I went to Rwanda, people African, they could reach out to me and say, Gaddafi, they gave you once you get married, they gave you money to build houses. No, and not only Rwanda, also Egypt. Like Egypt it's in the east and neighboring our country. They don't know about us. They think that we are rich, but the money was only for Gaddafi and their loyalists. And unfortunately, many people, once they go back home after the war in 2020, they got heart attack when they saw their houses like this, because it's family, it's everything. So including my friend Lilia, her house got destroyed. She's from Venezuela, who lives in Libya, and her family, of course, Libyan. So this billboard, I don't know why it reminds me of Gaddafi. We used to have faces of Gaddafi everywhere with this billboard, but now no more. So this is the unearthed grave, and this is the member of the oh my God, I forgot the name of the organization, I'm so sorry. Members of who unearthing, exhuming the corpses and trying to find the missing people, because as you might heard that almost 400 got killed in Tarhuna, and till today they couldn't find the bodies. Only around, I think, 200 something, and 100 got identified by their belongings, for example, by teeth, by scars, teeth, and any signs that would show their loved ones. And then we got the DNA, and the system was adopted from Bosnia process. Because once I visited the forensic hospital, they showed me the process, how they do this DNA from, and learning from Bosnians' genocide. So yeah, and this is the sister Rima, Leila, and Hawa. She They are victims of the Al-Kaniyat massacres, and their two brothers is still missing. They got the sisters got identified and found in the graves, and three sisters still alive. They survived. There are six sisters, three sisters that died, got killed and massacred, and three. Sorry, because in Tarhuna the members, the household is very big with big members. So unfortunately, he had killed all the members of well-known families, like Haruda family. They have, sorry, 8. Oh, I can't remember. Sorry.
This is brothers and sisters.
Yes, like three
sisters.
got massacred, and two brothers got massacred too, and one brother is in prison, and three sisters still alive. But two brothers are still like missing. They don't know where their bodies. Yeah.
Is this the grave of the three sisters we just saw?
The three sisters, yeah, and they have been labeled them with the numbers. Numbers of the massacres committed. And this
so
is
how did you get into this family?
By chance. I went to the hospital, and there was like a display of the massacre belongings, and I asked the doctor, and there was a guard there, and I told him, listen, I really want to make story of the victims. Can you help me? I have no press card. I was so honest with them. I feel that doctor was really kind of educated person. And I'm also working on a book, and this is history, and should not be ignored. So he helped me. He was like, okay, go now. We have 17 corpses in the lab. Go inside and see them. I went inside. I was among them. And then after that, and that day was the funeral day. We burying these bodies in Tarhuna and some in Tripoli. Yeah. Yeah. So I got access from the people there, from the doctor and the policeman. And this is one of I stayed there because I really wanted to see more, to live, to see how's like to live in their shoes, although I would never experience what they have experienced, of course, but at least to tell stories beyond the news reports. So I stayed with them, although it was the most difficult experience. The sisters were like talking about their problems, about relatives, about revenge. Tarhuna is full of injustice there. Unfortunately, till today, even though the criminals, they ran away to east part of Libya, and Haftar assassinated them to clean the crimes that he committed. But there are still members of Al-Kaniyat militias walking around. And once I went with the sisters walking to this house. This is a favorite dress of one of the sisters. Lay there. And I feel the atmosphere there, the air, the injustice till today. Like I feel like I'm shivering sometimes. The heaviness, the injustice, you feel that no, we still need injustice. We still need pacification process. We cannot bring a new government and say, let's forget, let's have peace. No, it's not about that. We need to learn from Rwanda and pacification process they have been through. We need to learn from other cities that we need to go through this kind of process. Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking to realize how many people within one family lose, like siblings and parents.
Like one family, they lost seven brothers, 7 men. They have no men. Like I'm telling story, just 2 families that I've met. I'm not telling you stories of other family who lost all member of men. And when you lose men, it's going to be really, really difficult to live in such that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
I think
one
we
of,
have to move a little bit because I know there's more story coming.
yeah, this is
but
Zainab.
no, tell about this story because this,
Yeah, this is,
with the
yeah.
hand, it's so touching.
Yeah, even though they've experienced the massacres, and so they lost their relative, their 3 kids, and their father, and one kid got survived, witnessed the death of their brothers in front of him, and he was only 9 years old, and he's still recounting his story, and it's sad. Whenever you see a kid telling a story of the society, you have to know there is a big issue and there is no justice because the kids know better than the adults. So yeah, this is one of the victims too. Her husband was still, she's still waiting for the news to find the body. This is the detention center. Once I entered, I saw the traces of atrocity, the torture, the crazy humanitarian crisis that you cannot describe it. Even the guy there, the way he described it, he was saying, thanks God that they didn't enter AAA. You wouldn't know, you wouldn't experience this. They're monsters. They're inhuman. And this is the destroyed house of the land, saying here, be aware of the landmines. Unfortunately, the Wagner left landmines and the booby trap in a very evil, crazy way in everyday items. From like women, once she opens up the cabinets, you will find a landmine. From soda can, you know, because in soda can, people would play in soda can, you know, once, like a football. And also on a mobile phone, because we're all gonna touch the mobile phone.
At one
And in
certain
teddy
frame.
bears, because the kids, once they enter the house, they see this teddy bear. And also the sad part in the seat, in the toilet seat as well.
It's unbelievable. It's so evil to hide it within like things that you use daily.
Exactly, and also it's like hindering the family to get back to the south of Tripoli. And I know what I'm saying, south of Tripoli, it's only like from the coastline to south of Tripoli 5 kilometers. So it's not like big distance, you know. So I'm here sharing 2 stories that I've met that they allowed me to photograph, because it took me so long to photograph the families. A lot of them, they don't want to share their stories, but this is Mahmoud and his twin brother. He was one of, they were fighters from Misrata, and I have to mention this, Misrata fighters defended Tripoli, and he's one of them who make Haftar to fail to seize Tripoli. So so him and his brother, once the war ended, they put the gun down and went to volunteer to defuse the landmines in their neighbors in Ain Zara. And yeah, and unfortunately they found in a well a landmines, and here he's describing like as if he was just regretting how he couldn't do this wire of the landmine of the mine, and he described how his brother died immediately and he got survived, but unfortunately he lost his sight. And this is his mother and his one of the relatives. He's showing me what he has lost. But although he is so courageous, he's not. He's like very proud of what he has done of his in his land and with his people. And immediately, and after that, he got married, and he invited me in his wedding. And this is a bride, Isra, leaving the wedding hall to to meet her husband. And this is Mahmoud, so in celebration of her in his wedding day. And it's beautiful, you know. At the same time, it's a sad thing that even though the war ended, but it's not, because there are many, many stories, and Libya is full of stories. It just takes time to get in, to get access, to get people.
So how long do you think you will continue, especially considering it's difficult to get access? I know you're now in New York.
The story of landmines, it took me 6 months.
Yeah.
6 months. And this is another family, Fauzi and his family.
But will you, Nada, will you continue this story when you return?
Yes, of course. I am going to. That's why I'm doing this workshop with an ICP, so I will learn more about what I have created, what I have done. So if there are missing things that I have to get back, and of course Libya, it's endless stories there. So, and of course, to be honest, this landmine story, it took my soul, and I was so in need to make a break and pause and be away from Libya. It's like, you know, I always describe it like a bird's eye view. You see Libya from far, and you learn about your own country from far. And this is what it's like a healthy way, and you know. And also, to be honest, I really want to learn more about photography, and maybe I can improve more when I get back home and photograph it more deeper stories. Yeah, this is their son got lost. He lost his hands, unfortunately. They go back home after 2020, after the war ended, and they even though they called the landmine demining group to clear the area, but they couldn't see this one that was hidden in a very complicated hole in their background. And the kid and his brother, they were playing in the backyard, thinking there was a game, there was something interesting, but he touches it, explode, and fortunately he lost his hands. And
his brother, did he survive?
Yeah, he survived. Only a few scars, but unfortunately, Salah, he injured him. And sadly, he's like, and courageous, of course. He's a brave man. He's continuing his studying in his elementary school. He's 14 years old.
No.
His mother was very, very brave. She's amazing. And they are an amazing family. Yeah, even though despite of war, despite of all the complicated layers of what we have been through, and until now, like I arrived here in September during my process doing the visa, you know, last year, 2022, 2022. Yeah, there was 1 day war.
Yeah, we were on the phone then.
Unfortunately, it's endless thing. Unfortunately, it's like calm wave, and then suddenly war.
It rises.
Rises.
Do you always have this in the back of your mind, that these things can happen, that it rises again? And
yeah, of course,
yeah.
Because there is no justice yet. There is no pacification process. If you do such a thing, we would never have a solution in Libya. And also other complicated intruders with dictatorship still occupying the eastern part and south of Libya. And yeah, it's difficult. Even I myself am learning about Libya, seriously. So I'm trying to convey what I'm seeing, what I've experienced. And this is me in my homeland, self-portrait, and my mother helped me because my tripod, I broke it, and she was, she pressed the button, and she's really good photographer too.
Yeah, she did very well. It's a beautiful portrait.
Yeah,
well, thank you for sharing this. If you can unshare your screen so we can see you, like you big in the screen. It's in the bottom of the screen. Yeah, there you go.
Oh my God, 1 o'clock. Okay.
Yeah. It's time flew by, but we have 2 questions coming in the Q&A, and thanks for, for sharing your story. And I can imagine, and I can feel, and I also know you well enough to know that it really is a sensitive subject for you.
Thank you,
coming from
Jamie.
Libya.
Yeah,
so let me see, where did I clicked, I closed. So thanks for being so open about this, Nada.
Oh, thank
Wait,
you for
where the Q&A, I don't know where I put it. Oh, here.
to share.
Yeah, of course. No, we're happy you want to share it with us. So there's Stefan's question. I'm gonna cut it in two a little bit because we went over time, so we have to round it off. But his last question is, was there any challenges for you being part of the story and being so connected with your story?
Yeah, there are challenges, of course, in terms of getting access. I depended on people, I depended on time, I've been so patient, and also patient with the people, especially, okay, I know the sensitivity and the dangers of the difficult environment out there, but also I was facing also the social rumors, like, oh, she's Libyan, she's on her own, she's photographing in these places, and it's like you have to get used to this. Even though I got really help with whether women, men, but at the same time there are people who really obstacle my journey. But I always go back. I always take time, and I depend on the days. Like, okay, today I bet it's gonna be a better day.
No, that's a good way of looking into this.
Yeah.
There will always be pushback, and I think maybe even you
yeah,
being in Libya even more, maybe.
Yeah, and also like during my coverage with the landmine, I got access. I got a press card because I started working with the Reuters and the foreign media department. They don't believe in Getty Images or any other publication, but only Reuters. Those medias are like very famous there, even during Gaddafi, and they were like, okay, you're with Reuters, okay, then you have access. But even though you have press card, sometimes it's better to not showing your press card.
Yeah,
it depends the situation, the people, on the days, on the
on a lot of things. So Vincent saying, congratulations for this work. It is very difficult to visit these areas and to interact and work with people who had such difficult experiences. Thanks, Vincent, for
Thank you,
watching.
Thank
There's
you.
one last question from Arki. It's, your images look very consistent, even though they are shot in different lighting conditions. Could you talk a little about your style of photography and post-processing?
Because I learned a little bit for photography through YouTube, and also with women photograph workshops, and also with VII Academy. I used only my Nikon D600. Yeah, oh my god, because now it got destroyed with my last story. I forgot even the name of my camera. So yeah, and only my lens 35 millimeter, and I couldn't grab more than one lens. I don't know, my style is like, I try to be in the eye level. Like, I try to be as, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I'm trying to make the camera as if they are my eyes. Like, with the post-production, I only like use Lightroom with the light and a shadow. But other than that, I try to capture what I see without any filtration or without any other, like there's no,
yeah, that it's the real representation of what you want to
But now with ICP, to be honest, I'm learning a lot of stuff. It's so lightning and the shadow. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't know about all of this. So yeah, and it's very, very important to learn a lot of styles, because sometimes you need to learn different techniques, different styles to convey stories with different and powerful way. So that's what
I mean, you have your own style, or it's good to have your own style, but to learn other people's styles or other ways of photographing can be very helpful if you have stories that...
Yeah, because I'm like, you know, all photographers struggle to find their own style. I just, you know, try to be as at the eye level as I can. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. So a last question is from me, and then we really have to round off because we went a little bit over our time, which I think was worth it very much because you shared so much, and I'm happy you didn't take too many pictures out of the series because it was really powerful to watch. So my last question for you would be, where do you hope to be within this industry in the future?
Far,
like which publications do you want to work for, if you could?
To be honest, so far all my focus is on the book. That's my focus right now. All of my materials, how I can present my work, because it's like your babies and you have your responsibility to lay them down, and how you make the book very impactful for other photographers, even Libyans, to encourage them to make, even though Libya is a very difficult place to photograph, but you can do it with patience, with like you know, oh, this is Nada, she's Libyan, she's not with any like certain publication or media or whatsoever, although I work with Getty or I work with Reuters, but you know, oh, she's just civilian, she's just Libyan, she did this, and we can do this because Libya needs more stories to be told by different photographers or storytellers. Yeah.
I hope your book will help to show people that these stories need to be told. And I think by looking at the chat, there's a lot of praise for your work in there. I think the first books are already have found new owners. So good luck with working on the book. And I'm going to see you at ICP just now. I'm going to walk over and
of course,
see each other. And thanks for sharing everything. And thanks for everyone who watched. It was amazing to be able to see you again or to hear you in the question.
So happy about this day. Yeah, thank you.
There were many people, so that's also really nice that you all joined in. And hopefully see you all on the next 7 Insider. And thank you, Nada.
Thank you, Ilvy. See you around.
See you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. Bye.
Bye.